March 23rd, 1945, 0900 hours. Somewhere near Speyer, Germany. Staff Sergeant Edward Allen Carter Jr. reaches for his canteen with his left hand. The hand that isn't bleeding yet, the pain in his arm demanding water, demanding relief, demanding anything. And in that fraction of a second, a 7.92 millimeter round from a German Mauser rifle punches through the metal canteen. The water explodes outward in a mist of steel fragments and liquid, and the same bullet continues its path straight through his left hand. He now has 5 bullet wounds, 0 water, and approximately 2 hours left to live. This is not speculation, this is mathematics. 3 rounds already in his left arm, 1 in his left leg, now 1 through his hand, all while lying in an open field under continuous fire from 3 MG42 machine guns, each capable of 1,200 rounds per minute, and 8 German soldiers walking toward him, thinking he's already dead. What happens in the next 120 minutes will rewrite U.S. Army close quarters combat doctrine. It will accelerate General George Patton's advance to the Rhine River by days, not hours. And it will take 52 years for the United States government to officially acknowledge that it happened at all. Because Edward Carter was black, and in 1945 that mattered more than 5 bullet wounds, more than tactical genius, more than saving American lives. It mattered more than the truth. You're about to learn a tactic so controversial, so improvised, so far outside standard infantry doctrine that no field manual published in 1945 contained it. A tactic that forced the enemy to choose between killing their own men or letting one wounded American soldier walk away. A tactic the Army called decades later the coercive human shield. May 26, 1916, Los Angeles, California. Edward Allen Carter Jr. is born to missionary parents, father African American, mother the daughter of an English father and Bengali mother from Calcutta, India. This multilingual, multicultural heritage doesn't make him special in his own eyes. It makes him an outsider everywhere. Childhood is Calcutta, then Shanghai. Not vacations, permanent residence. His parents preaching Christianity in foreign lands while their son absorbs 4 languages by age 15. English, Hindi, Mandarin, German, not as a party trick, but as preparation. For what? He doesn't know yet, but he knows. At 15 years old, most American boys are playing baseball, chasing girls, failing algebra. Edward Carter is enrolled at the Military College of China in Shanghai, studying tactics, studying weaponry, studying war. His hobbies are not hobbies. They are preparation, every waking hour dedicated to becoming a soldier. 0 recreational activities, 0 normal teenage behavior, just languages and military science. January 1932, the Shanghai incident erupts. Pro-Japanese forces clash with Chinese nationalists in month-long street battle. 15-year-old Carter doesn't run home to his parents. He runs toward the gunfire, lies about his age, joins the nationalist Chinese army as a lieutenant. When they discover he's a minor, they expel him, force him to flee. But he's tasted combat now. Real combat, urban warfare at 15, and he wants more. 1932, Carter tries to enlist in the United States Army, the country of his birth, rejected. Reason given, race. He is black. The Army is segregated. Combat positions are for white soldiers. He can serve food. He can dig latrines. He cannot fight. 1936, fascism is rising in Europe. Spain descends into civil war. The United States government refuses to intervene. Carter, now 20 years old, fluent in 4 languages, veteran of Shanghai street fighting, cannot fight for America because America will not let him fight. So he sails to Spain, joins the Abraham Lincoln Brigade, volunteers fighting for the Spanish Republic against Franco's fascists. 2 years in Spain, 2 years of real combat. The Battle of the Ebro, the largest battle of the Spanish Civil War, Carter serves as corporal, learns small unit tactics, learns coordination under chaos, learns how to stay alive when Doctrine fails. 1938, Republican forces collapse, Carter is captured, sent to a concentration camp in North Africa. His family receives notification that he is dead. But he's not dead. Somehow, through means never fully documented, Carter escapes, boards a cargo ship, returns to the United States. His family had mourned him, buried an empty coffin, moved on, and here he stands alive, 22 years old. More combat experience than 90% of white American officers, and still, the U.S. Army will not let him fight. September 1941, 3 months before Pearl Harbor, Carter finally enlists. Rank assigned, mess sergeant, translation, cook. He will serve food to men less qualified, less experienced, less dedicated. He will serve food because he is black, and in the segregated U.S. Army of 1941, that is the ceiling. 4 years of cooking, of watching white soldiers with zero combat experience ship out to Europe, to the Pacific, to glory. 4 years of knowing he could lead them better, shoot better, think better under fire. 4 years of being told his skin matters more than his skill. February 1945, the Battle of the Bulge has created a massive deficit in combat troops. The Army is desperate. They issue a call for black volunteers. Carter's hand shoots up immediately. He cites his Spain experience, his Shanghai experience, his fluency in German, unlike other black soldiers forced to accept rank reduction to enter combat. Carter maintains his staff sergeant rank, is immediately promoted to squad leader, then platoon leader. 28 years old, finally allowed to do what he was born to do. Company D, provisional, 1st Infantry Company Provisional, 56th Armored Infantry Battalion, 12th Armored Division. An all-black company in Patton's Mystery Division, nicknamed the Hellcats. And on March 23, 1945, near Speyer, Germany, Edward Carter will prove every officer who denied him was wrong. 0830 hours. The Sherman tank Carter is riding receives heavy fire, Panzerfaust anti-tank rockets, and automatic weapons from a large German warehouse, approximately 150 meters across an open field. Carter and his crew take cover behind a road embankment. The enemy position is unknown, strength unknown, disposition unknown. Someone needs to find out. Carter volunteers, takes 2 men, forms a 3-man patrol. Objective simple: advance across open field, determine enemy location and strength, return with intelligence. It's a suicide mission disguised as reconnaissance. Everyone knows it. Carter knows it. He volunteers anyway. The patrol leaves cover. Enemy fire intensifies immediately. The first soldier dies instantly. No warning, no dramatic final words, just alive then dead. Carter orders the other 2 back. They run. One makes it to cover, but seriously wounded. The other dies in the open field trying to reach safety. Carter is now alone, completely alone, 150 meters from friendly lines, under fire from 3 MG42 machine guns. At 10 degrees below freezing, machine gun oil freezes, bolts jam, but German gunners have solved this problem. Their weapons are firing, sustained bursts, tracers lighting up the morning air, and Carter keeps advancing. A burst hits his left arm, 3 rounds. The impact spins him. He falls. Another round punches through his left leg. He's on the ground now, crawling. He reaches for his aid kit, swallows morphine tablets. The pain is screaming. He needs water. Reaches for his canteen with his left hand. And a Mauser round destroys the canteen in his hand in a single instant. 5 wounds, 5 separate bullet impacts, 3 in the arm, 1 in the leg, 1 through the hand. Blood loss accumulating, shock threatening, hypothermia waiting. But Carter keeps crawling, 30 more meters forward, closer to the objective, closer to the warehouse, closer to the Germans who are actively trying to kill him. The fire becomes so heavy, he's forced to take cover behind a small dirt bank, barely 2 feet high, barely wide enough to hide behind. And there he stays, approximately 2 hours, 120 minutes of cold, of bleeding, of continuous enemy fire, rounds impacting the dirt inches from his face, the sound of MG42s like industrial saws cutting through metal. No rescue possible, no retreat possible, no water, no relief, just waiting. Waiting for what? Death. Obviously, the mathematics are simple. Any movement equals exposure, exposure equals death. Staying still equals slow death from blood loss or hypothermia. There is no third option in the field manual. There is no tactical doctrine for this situation. There is only choosing how to die. And then 8 German soldiers exit the warehouse, walking toward him across the open field. They think he's dead or too wounded to fight. They're coming to confirm the kill or take a prisoner. And Carter makes his decision. Surrender means death. Black American prisoners are frequently executed by German forces as retaliation. As propaganda, as racism crossing enemy lines, fighting means death, 8 against 1, and he's already bleeding from 5 wounds. But there is a third option, not in any manual, not taught at any military college, an option born from desperation and calculation. Play dead. Let them approach. Kill them at point-blank range. The U.S. Army Field Manual 21-75, published 1941, Infantry Drill Regulations, states clearly, isolated soldier under fire has 3 options. Option 1, seek cover and wait for support. Option 2, use suppressive fire from friendly forces to execute tactical withdrawal. Option 3, deploy smoke grenades to obscure movement during retreat. Carter is already in cover. Option 1 checked, but support cannot reach him. 3 men already died trying. Option 1 fails. Suppressive fire requires friendly forces. His 3 companions are dead or wounded. 0 suppressive fire available. Option 2 fails. Smoke grenades. He has none. Even if he did, 150 meters of open field with wind would disperse smoke in seconds. Option 3 fails. Every option in the manual leads to death. The doctrine is useless. The training is irrelevant. The official tactics are suicide. So Carter invents his own. 2 hours of absolute stillness. 2 hours of German gunners periodically firing at his position to confirm he's dead or dying. 2 hours of controlling breath. Controlling movement, controlling the scream of 5 bullet wounds demanding attention. This is not heroism. This is mathematics. This is the only rational choice when all rational choices have been exhausted. The 8 Germans approach. Rifles ready, but casual. They think this is corpse collection, not combat. 75 meters away, Carter's right hand tightens on his Thompson submachine gun, caliber 45, capable of 600 to 700 rounds per minute in full automatic. 50 meters. Carter doesn't move. 25 meters. Still doesn't move. 10 meters. He can hear their voices. German words, familiar from childhood in Shanghai. They're discussing whether he's alive. 5 meters. Carter rises, fires. The Thompson roars, 45 caliber rounds at point-blank range. Massive stopping power. No misses possible at this distance. 6 Germans fall in seconds, not minutes, seconds. The mechanical efficiency of a man who learned to shoot in Shanghai at 15, refined the skill in Spain at 20, waited 13 years to use it for the country that rejected him. 2 Germans remain hands raised, surrendering. Carter, bleeding from 5 wounds, cold, exhausted, keeps the Thompson aimed at their faces, and speaks in fluent German, the language learned in childhood, never forgotten. Get in front of me, walk. The coercive human shield. Carter positions the two prisoners ahead of him, uses their bodies as kinetic cover, forces the German gunners in the warehouse to make a choice: shoot at Carter and kill their own men, or cease fire. They cease fire, not because of regulation, not because of official doctrine, but because soldiers do not shoot their own. This is the unspoken code of war. Fratricide is taboo. Carter has weaponized that taboo. 150 meters back across the open field, Carter walks. Thompson aimed at two German backs, 5 bullet wounds bleeding. No water, no support, just one wounded American and 2 living shields. The German gunners in the warehouse watch through scopes, recognize their comrades, hold fire. Carter reaches American lines alive. He refuses medical evacuation. His commanding officer orders him to the aid station. Carter refuses. I need to interrogate these prisoners first. Fluent German. Childhood gift becoming tactical asset. Carter personally questions the 2 Germans, extracts critical intelligence, exact coordinates of German defensive positions, number of troops, disposition of heavy weapons, placement of anti-tank guns. This intelligence is transmitted immediately to American artillery. Coordinates are shelled. German positions are destroyed. The advance on Speyer is accelerated. The city falls in 2 days instead of weeks. Patton's 12th Armored Division continues its drive to the Rhine River on schedule, not delayed. The strategic timeline of Germany's collapse remains intact. Because one black mess sergeant, finally allowed to fight after 13 years of rejection, improvised a tactic no white officer had thought of. July 10th, 1945, Carter is recommended for the Medal of Honor. July 25th, 1945, he receives the Distinguished Service Cross, second highest military honor, not the first. Reason, race. He is black, and in segregated America, black soldiers who perform identical actions to white soldiers receive lesser awards. This is documented. This is policy. This is injustice. Carter also receives Bronze Star, Combat Infantryman Badge, Purple Heart with Cluster. Significant honors, yes, but not the Medal of Honor. Not the recognition his action deserved. Not the truth. September 1949, Carter attempts to re-enlist 4 years after the war. 4 years of hoping his service would erase discrimination. Denied, reasons cited, suspected communist sympathies due to Abraham Lincoln Brigade service in Spain, 1936 to 1938, the irony military intelligence investigations in 1942 and 1943 concluded Carter was loyal, that his motivation in Spain was desire for adventure, not support for communism. But 1949 is Red Scare America. Paranoia trumps facts. Suspicion trumps service. Carter is denied re-enlistment permanently. He works in a tire factory in Los Angeles. Ordinary labor, ordinary life, extraordinary bitterness. 1962, diagnosed with lung cancer attributed to war wounds. January 30th, 1963, Edward Allen Carter Jr. dies, age 46. He never received the Medal of Honor during his life. He died thinking his country never fully acknowledged what he did. 34 years later, January 12, 1997, President Bill Clinton presents the Medal of Honor posthumously to Carter's son. Carter is one of only 7 black soldiers to receive the Medal of Honor for World War II actions, and all 7 were awarded in 1997, not during the war. This is the United States government's first official admission that explicit racial discrimination existed in military awards. July 27, 1999, Clinton sends official letter apologizing for the 1949 re-enlistment denial. August 26, 1999, the Army Board for Correction of Military Records declares the denial unjust, rescinds it officially, 50 years too late. Edward Carter is reburied at Arlington National Cemetery with full Medal of Honor recipient privileges. His story is now taught at military academies as case study in bravery under discrimination, in tactical innovation under impossible conditions, in how racial injustice persisted even during exceptional valor. The tactic Carter improvised, playing dead for 2 hours under continuous fire, ambushing at point-blank range, using captured prisoners as coercive human shields against fratricidal fire. This was not in any field manual of 1945. Today, variations of this tactic are taught in urban close-quarters combat training, in isolation survival protocols, in adaptive use of terrain and enemy as tactical resources. The intelligence Carter extracted by refusing medical evacuation, interrogating prisoners in fluent German while bleeding from 5 wounds. This accelerated Speyer's capture, facilitated Patton's advance, contributed measurably to Germany's April 1945. Glenn soldiers' action on one March morning changed the strategic timeline of the war's end. But the legacy that matters most, the recognition that took 52 years, is this: Edward Carter's story forced the United States military to confront its own racism, to acknowledge that black soldiers were systematically under-recognized for identical actions, to admit that skin color determined honor more than sacrifice. And in that admission, in that correction, in that apology half a century late, is the proof that truth eventually cannot be suppressed. Carter didn't ask for recognition, he asked for the right to fight. When finally granted that right in February 1945, at age 28, after 13 years of rejection, he proved in 120 minutes of bleeding, of tactical genius, of refusing to die when death was mathematically certain, that the Army's discrimination had cost it one of its finest soldiers for 13 years. Imagine what he could have done if they'd let him fight from the beginning. March 23, 1945, 0900 hours, a black mess sergeant, finally allowed in combat, takes 5 bullets, survives 2 hours under machine gun fire, kills 6 enemy soldiers, captures 2 more, walks back across 150 meters of open field using human shields, refuses medical treatment to interrogate prisoners, provides intelligence that changes battle outcomes, and waits 52 years for the truth to be acknowledged. That is the story of Edward Allen Carter Jr., and that is the price of discrimination. Not just the injustice to one man, but the loss of tactical genius, of leadership, of lives that could have been saved if competence had mattered more than race. The warehouse near Speyer still stands. The field is now farmland. The dirt bank where Carter bled for 2 hours has eroded. But at Arlington, Section 60, Grave 8619, beneath Virginia soil, rests a man who rewrote combat doctrine, who accelerated victory, who forced his country to confront its own racism. A man who, in the end, received the recognition he deserved. It just took longer than it should have, 52 years longer.